What is going on? Today is Friday the 1st of August and it is 6 minutes past 8 and you're joining me from the trade van. Oh, this is great. Just posted up, all snuggy, trading. So the plan was, originally I was going to trade at the New York session. I was going to do 12 p.m, 1 p.m, and 2 p.m, trade those candles, maybe the 3 p.m. candle. But it is Friday the 1st, so obviously there's a ton of news on Friday and there's a ton of news on the 1st, usually, 1st of each month. So I've decided to come down and trade the London session instead. So it's 6 minutes past 8, the 8 o'clock candle has just opened. We are looking for buying opportunities. Previous hourly candle has closed bullish, you can see that there. So the 7 till 8 candle bullish. So now the 8 o'clock candle has opened, we are looking for a buying opportunity. Now, you can see on the 1 minute chart we have been making lower lows and lower highs. I'm just looking for a shift into our direction now. We've now made a lower low. If we can make a lower high but then fail to make another lower low and we actually break this high, then potentially we'll be looking for an entry. We need the hourly candle to be bullish because we are buying. So the hourly candle won't be bullish until there. So price has to be trading above this level for me to be interested in a trade. What I'm looking for now is I'm just waiting to see if price can hold this level. So you can see lower lows, lower highs, and then this shift of price can hold here and then break this high. Then potentially we'll be looking at 6.5 pip stop loss. I'm currently trading a 5k funded next challenge that we're around break even on. So let's see how this plays out. I'm not going to be interested unless we can break this high, and if we do break below this area here and price just doesn't give us that sustainability and can't hold this level, breaks below, then I'm no longer going to be interested in this trade. Okay, so now price has closed below this area, so no longer looking for that as a trade idea. What we've got to wait for now as well is price seems to be making lower lows and lower highs. We need to make a shift above this level. So unless price comes back above here, no longer interested in this trade. For now, what I'm going to do is I need to add my account onto tradezella so we can start the day and we can go through everything we need to go through for today. Okay, so the account is now on to tradezella. So what I need to do is click on start my day on Friday the 1st of August. Now this will just basically, you put in here how are you feeling about that day, trading hours, and then your sort of trading plan for that day. So in here I'm going to put that I'm only going to be trading the London session because of all the high impact news that's later in the New York session. So if you actually have a look at how much news there is today, you can see at 1:30 there is 3 lots of red folder news, and then at 3 p.m. there's also more red folder news on US dollar. So now basically I can't do anything until price comes back up here, which is around 10 pips away. So unless we get back up to that level, can't do anything. So let's make a coffee. This is great. In fact, what I will show you in the meantime is I'm running a new EA called the Dark Nova EA. So I've been running this since last Monday, I think it is, on a 10k FTMO challenge. Now it seems to be, so far it's been sort of slow and steady progress. So if we look at the account history since last Monday is really when I started running it, so July the 25th, we've made $52 on this. So it's quite a slow steady EA as it stands, but as we know with EAs, they can get into quite a bit of drawdown sometimes, so we'll just keep our eye on this and we'll keep everyone updated on how we get on with that one. And we don't actually trade US dollar on this, so hopefully the news today won't have too much of an impact. When it's high impact news on US dollar, it does tend to move all markets, so we'll see if we get into a little bit of drawdown today. But on this we trade NZD CAD, AUD NZD, and then AUD CAD as well. So quite weird pairs, to be honest. Most EAs tend to trade on US dollar, so a little bit strange on that, but I'm just using the recommended settings from the developer. Okay, it is 9:05. You can see the previous hourly candle has closed bearish, so the 8 till 9 candle has closed bearish. We're just looking for a potential sell opportunity here. The only thing with this one is I like to be in the candle around there, so before price has already made its move, I like to try and get in around this area, but there wasn't any entries that I could see. So obviously we are making lower lows and lower highs. We then tried to push up, failed, but then there's nothing here for me to enter off of. If price made a rejection here and gave us an opportunity where price has shifted there and broke this low, I definitely would have been into the trade. However, there just isn't anything really lining up. Just got to wait it out and wait for the right trading opportunities. I mean, if price did give us an entry pattern here, definitely would have taken the trade, but we are quite far down now on the hourly candle. I like to be in around here, so then we've got room to push down. So, and the entry patterns I would have been looking for would have been something like this. So you can see where price has tried to push up and rejected and then made a lower high. All I was looking for is a lower high close to this high. Let's see what happens for the rest of this hourly candle. For now, I've got some coffee that I made in an AeroPress. The only thing with these kind of mugs is your coffee stays hot for about 4 days because of the metal. Don't really know why I bought this. It's just because it's light, so I can just throw it in my bag. So wait for that to cool down, which might not be in this video, and then see what happens a little bit later on. So I'm basically giving up on this candle at this point, to be honest with you. You can see what we've already pushed all the way down here. Unfortunately, there was no entry opportunity that I saw. We could have got a nice entry here and then taken a sell, but it doesn't always work out like that. So now I'm going to do a little bit of work. It's a shame I've not got a nice view really, but anyway, I will in the next video. So yeah, just going to do a bit of work now and then wait for the 10 AM candle. Okay, it is 18 minutes past 10. I have just entered a position here on GU. So the reason for this trade is you can see what happened at 9 till 10. We had this huge bearish candle. Now, previously, I would be thinking that potentially this candle has pushed too much. It's a little bit too big, so I'm not looking for a continuation of sells after this candle. However, I'm not trying to trade like that anymore. I'm just looking at it more objectively. I mean, if the candle was absolutely, you know, double or triple the size of the standard candles, so you can see here all these sell candles here. If it was the size of 3 of these sell candles put together, then potentially I'd stay away. But more than ever now, I'm really trying to advance as much as I can with trading. I really need to make it work. So I'm just going to be taking trades where I see them for the most part. Like I say, on occasion where it's a huge, maybe news inflicted candle, I might stay away. But for now, let's just take the trade. So even though this candle has pushed, and really I would have loved to have been part of the previous candle, but I just didn't see an entry. So from 9 till 10, there wasn't an entry for me. What I would have been looking at is, this is a really nice entry pattern. So here, where price has tried to push up, and I would consider that, I suppose it could be considered a double top, or potentially price trying to push up and then failing, and then that shift from there to there. That's exactly what I'm looking for, that shift. And you can see that price did hold this level and then broke below this low. So the trade could have looked something like that. It's quite a nice tight stop loss as well, so 4.5 pips, and then that would have been a winning trade. The only thing with this one is, like I said earlier, we're really low down on the candles. If we look where we were all the way down here on the hourly candle. I would have preferred to take a trade higher up, just when the candle opened ideally, but that's what the trade idea would have been. But we were half an hour into the candle, which isn't the end of the world, but I was more bothered about the fact that we were quite low down in the candle. So I decided to stay away from that one, even though that would have been a nice trade. In fact, I'll leave that in because I'm going to send a screenshot of that over to tradezella so I can reflect back on that, because what I want to be doing obviously going forward is I want to be looking at trades that I could have taken, and then, you know, if I see that more often than not trades are working out that I didn't take because I thought they were too low down in the candle, then going forward I could potentially be taking those trades. It's just about getting as much data as I can and then reflecting back on it and learning from it. But anyway, I decided to take a trade from the 10 till 11 candle. So you can see this is the trade that we are currently in. Reason for this one is, like I say, huge bearish candle, previous hourly was bearish. Price does seem to be overall on a downtrend as well on GU. That's not necessarily what I look at. I'm only really looking at how the previous hourly candle has closed, but the fact that we are bearish does help a little bit just in terms of confluence. And then from an entry point of view, the entry pattern isn't as nice as the trade that I didn't take during the previous hourly candle. So you can see that we have tried to push up, and then we have actually made a higher high. So you can see that there we've broken above that area, but then instead of making a higher low, we have continued downwards. Now this is the shift. It's a little bit more messy than the other trade that I didn't take, but I do see this as a shift here. So when price has made this high and then tried to push up and failed, I see that shift from there to there, that price has tried to push up and failed to do so. Again, with this trade from an entry point of view, not as nice as the trade I didn't take. It's an 8 pip stop loss, and the reason it's 8 pips and I couldn't have got in here when we broke this low and had a much tighter stop, the reason I couldn't do that, because if I got 5.5 pip on that and we would have been at take profit already. But the reason I couldn't do that is this orange bar here is when the candle flips. So like I say, the hourly candle has to be in my direction. So you can see that price tried to push up and created that wick, and then I had to wait for price to be pushing down, so the candle to be bearish in order for me to enter a trade. So yeah, that was the reasoning behind the trade that we are currently in. I'm hoping that we are close to break even now, so we're going to go break even on that, because we are basically at break even now. We're going to move our stop loss now to 131597. 131597. 131597. So that's where we enter the trade. So that is where we're going to move our stop loss to now. So at least, at the very least with this, we are break even on this trade, but we are going to go for a 1 to 2. Well, there we go, we've officially got to break even now. But sometimes I move it just slightly earlier, just when I see price touching the 1.5, so I'll go break even at 1.5, and when I see price touching that, even if the alert hasn't gone off yet, I tend to go break even then, just because for the sake of a couple of pips we might as well go break even. So now all I'm doing is I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Obviously we're break even on the trade now, so there'll be no trade management at this point. We just see if we can hold this for a 1 to 2. Okay, quick update. It is 10:51. That trade did manage to hit take profit. So you can see what happened once we broke this low. Price just continued down. We did have a slight retracement there, but ultimately did continue down to our take profit. So on that one, we made $100.17. So the account balance is now at $5,031. So just above break even. I'm gonna keep trading on that account. Just stick to that account and see if we can get it over the line. Now I need to log this trade. So if we go onto tradezella and if we have a look at the accounts, what you can do is it syncs automatically every few hours, I think, but you can also do a manual sync. So if I just click on resync now, wait for that to take that trade over, and we will be able to see everything. So if we go back to the home page now, this is what the diary looks like. So this is the dashboard. We technically made $95 on that trade after commissions and spreads. 100% win rate so far, but this is a account that I'm going to be trading now. So it's 1st of August. Now I'm just going to be trading this one only. I've logged this account onto tradezella, obviously. Going to see if I can get it over the line or whether I blow the account. Whatever happens, it's all good. This is the only trade. This is the only account that I'm going to be trading on for a while. But you can see that it automatically allocates the trade there, so we can click on that, and what it'll show you is a little bit of basic information there, but if you click into the actual trade, you can see everything here. So this got a real detailed breakdown of exactly how long you were sat in the trade and those types of things. I just need to do a trade note, and then you can see here where we entered the trade and where we exited, and we can actually add a chart as well. So if we add one chart, what we'll be able to see then is the I'm going to have the 1 minute chart underneath and then the hourly chart on top, just so we can see why we took the sells from an hourly perspective, and then what our entry looked like from a 1 minute perspective. and then put some notes in here about the trade, how it went. So we add the playbook, which is 2 CDT, and then it'll go through our entry criteria that we have to tick off to make sure that the trade was valid and we stuck within our rules, and then it'll give you a trade rating based on did you stick to the rules, which on this trade we did. And then yeah, we'll just put all the information in there and then I'll allocate everything, and it's just really good to look back on this and just go over everything. The link to TradeZella is in the description if you're interested, but it's up to you whether you sign up for it or not. I don't think it's necessarily needed, but for me, I am really trying to make trading work, take it a lot more seriously than I have been. So tools like this really do help, because I can just review every single trade, go back over everything, the mistakes that I've made and whatnot. So yeah, all good. Sun's coming out, good start to the morning. It's 10:55. I'm not going to trade at 11. I know I've talked about taking trades when they're there, overextended candles, but I've just taken a winner and I've got a meeting at 11, so I'm going to do a quick meeting. Won't be able to take a trade, and then we will see where we're at 12. Right, chicken satay noodles and drive to survive in the back of a van. Oh yeah, I didn't I mean, I wanted to turn it into a camper anyway, but I probably wouldn't have rushed it as much if it wasn't for this channel. I just thought it'd be a little bit different. I mean, you know, I could sit at home because I work from home anyway, so I could sit at home taking trades, but you know, that's not that exciting. So I thought, let's be a little bit different. Let's turn the van into a camper / trade office, and yeah, trade a session a day. So I'm either going to do London or New York, depending on the news. Ideally New York, just because then that way I can walk the dog, go to the gym and do everything in the morning, and then come out, just find somewhere to pull up. I mean, doors closed now, but literally just find somewhere with, you know, a nice quiet area with a nice view, and yeah, just trade out the back of the van. Bit weird, isn't it, really? But I love it, and it's it does get me out of the house, because like I say, I work from home, spend a lot of the time at home. Basically what I'm going to go and do now is go home, work and edit the video in the house for the rest of the day. So I think getting out is obviously important. So yeah, I just thought let's turn it into a little bit of a camper trading area, and that's the plan going forward. This is what the videos will look like. Making some nice food, taking some trades. I mean, obviously we've had a winning day today, but that's not going to happen that often. Well, I don't know, let's hope that it does, but there's going to be a lot of losing trades as well, and I will show you all of those trades. So from now on, every trade I take will be on camera, and I think that'll be good for me as well, because it'll force me to actually get out and make the videos instead of just sitting there trading, because I want to show every single trade with you all. I mean, you know that I'm a beginner trader, and I'm just trying to become profitable, so hopefully showing you the ups and downs of that might help you if you're in a similar position. That's the hope, that's the goal. And I'll do a quick update on the EA, but nothing really changes that often. It just seems to just, you know, stay in trade. So we're at, I'll probably put let me do a screen recording and then I'll put that on screen. But we're at £9, well, $9 US drawdown now. And then today, I don't think we've closed any trades today. Oh, we have, yeah, we've closed 2 trades, made $4.70 today. The account you can see is in some drawdown, so I just thought I'd just attach it onto this account and see what happens. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. That'll be something that will be continuing to trade next week. Obviously I don't do any intervention with that. The developer doesn't suggest that you need to. You don't need to turn off during high impact news. You don't need to do any of those things. You can literally just leave it running, and the small trades that it does take, you hold for a while. I actually like that, because if there is some high impact news, hopefully won't get into too much drawdown, because it seems to be sort of a swing trading EA that doesn't take hundreds and hundreds of positions. You know, I've used some EAs in the past where you get into a little bit of drawdown, you already open another position and just martingale, and they tend to blow accounts quite quickly. So even though this one is martingale, seems to be a little bit steadier, but like I say, I've only used it for a couple of weeks, so yeah, we'll just keep our eye on that, see what happens. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.